So this is my workspace, and this workspace will fetch the metadata across all the objects in the files folder across all the lakehouses for this workspace. So this workspace has three lakehouses. I'll just filter the lakehouses here. So this workspace has three lakehouses, with one lakehouse having a very complex directory structure with multiple hierarchies having multiple objects, and one lakehouse having a very simple structure with just one file, where another lakehouse having no objects or no hierarchy. I'll quickly show one of the complex lakehouses having a pretty complex directory structure. So this is the files folder for this lakehouse, and under the files folder, as you can see in the root location, there's a series of subfolders and files, and each subfolder having a subfolder of its own, and some of the subfolders having files in them. And so at the files at the root location, that is at the files folder, we have two subfolders: folder with secret key and folders underscore with files. And the folder with secret key is the one having a complex structure, while the folder with files having no subdirectories or files in it. Okay, so the code should basically fetch the metadata for all the objects in the directory along with their paths. So just to explain it in one line, we'll fetch the metadata for all the objects under the files folder across all the lakehouses in this workspace. So we can fetch the metadata for the tables as well, but the tables don't have any hierarchy. But just in case if you want to fetch the metadata for the tables, all you have to do is change the keyword here from files to tables. Okay, and I'm using a browser-based authentication with cache bearer token, so the process does not prompt for a bearer token whenever it wants to fetch a response. So this is the location where the metadata files would get created. Okay, and I'll debug the code step by step, and we'll see how the code traverses through the objects to return the metadata. So this is the first method. Traverse across all lake houses in the workspace, that would traverse across all the lake houses in the workspace to return the list of the lake houses. So we are using the J object to traverse the JSON data returned by the response object to the get method, and the response object contains the paths array. Okay, and we fetch the response to the get method and then convert it to a type J object, and then using the JArrow property, we run the method into a recursion to return the metadata across the different object hierarchies. And I'll run this code. So first thing that's going to do is that is I'm going to ask for a credentials, browser-based credential to create a bearer token. Okay, and okay. Yeah, so this J object now should let me just add a watch for this object. I'll just add a watch, and I'll say do to string. Yeah. So basically, that J object contains a list of the objects in the uh, under the files folder. So sorry, it contains a list of the objects in the workspace. And as you can see, it has a lake house, it has a data warehouse, it has a mounted relational data as a GraphQL. So we are interested only in the lake houses, and then we are going to filter elements that has the name property that contains the dot lakehouse keyword. Okay, where is the watch? Okay, let me just pin this watch. Okay, now the first lake house that is going to traverse is the lakehouse underscore one dot lakehouse, which is the most complex directory structure, which has the most complex directory structure. This one, and then it's gonna. Okay, and then yeah, sorry, I forgot to step into this code. Okay, all right. So so this is the lake house, and now this lake house acts as the parameter to this method called traverse across all directory in the lakehouse. So this directory would return the directories across a given lakehouse in the files folder. Okay, and I'll just step into this code. Should I add a watch here? Okay, let me just add a watch for this as well. To string. Yeah, so it's gonna return a list of all the objects that exist in the files folder. So if you look at the if you look under the lake house in the UI, so under the files folder it has one.csv file, then it has two subfolders and with three additional files. If you check here, so it has a file called one.csv with two subfolders and three files: quantity, myfile.txt, and working hours data manual. Okay, and then yeah, so we run through the collection, and here what we do is that we check for this property is directory, and is directory property basically helps us identify uh, if the given object is a directory or not. So I'll okay, it went to the other object, so I should add a watch for this. Let me do first a quick watch. No, I should be adding a so JSON. Okay, I haven't added the watch here. Okay, I'll just watch string. Yeah, so basically, there's a property called as an is directory. So is directory basically helps identify if the given element, is the given object in the element is the directory or not. So first we are going to filter out. So the first object in the collection is a file, right? So it's a one.csv and it has no property called as an is directory. So the go code is going to step into the else condition. So the file name is one.csv and the path is files slash one.csv, and then we are going to send this path and the lakehouse name as a parameter to the return metadata function, and return metadata function is going to return the metadata for this given object. So this is the metadata for the one.csv file. So again, we are going to check if the path contains a property called is directory, as it does not contain that property. So it's going to step into the else condition, else part of the condition, and it's going to write the metadata details to a CSV file. And you should have CF file created or file metadata.csv. So it's going to continue with the iteration. So it's going to step into the next object, which is paths array, right? Which is this, like the folder with secret key. Okay, and since the folder with secret key has this properties directory, so it's going to step into the first condition, and here we're going to fetch the folder name, and then this is going to write the metadata for the folder with secret key folder, as since this being the folder that exists in the root location of the lake house. And then we should see a directory called directory metadata created. Okay, now this folder should so basically what should happen is now is that so we should our code should check if this folder contains a subdirectory. So basically, it should run into a recursion, right? So this is what happens. This is what I did. So I executed the same method called. So basically, I called the same function called return metadata. And sorry, I should have stepped into this code. Okay, and so now the DFS endpoint changes to this folder called folder with secret key. And now this should return the metadata for the given object in the collection. So now this so basically this return metadata is going to check for is going to return a list of all the subdirectories that exist under the folder with secret key folder. So if you look here, to quick check, did I add a? Okay, I should add a. Yeah. So basically, it's gonna check for all the objects in the folder with secret key folder. So it has a Parquet file. It has a folder with secret underscore one. Then this folder has an subfolder called folder underscore with secret underscore one, and then this folder having another subfolder in it. All right, and folder with secret key, which is this folder, has a CSV file. So it's gonna return all the objects in the folder underscore with secret key, which is the current context in the collection. So since the first method here for first collection in the object, first element in the array is a file. So the code stepped into the else condition, and this is gonna write the metadata for that file, that is the one.parquet, into the CSV file. And now the second element in the collection is an folder, right? Folder with secret key. So it stepped into the true condition of the true part of the condition. So it's going to write the metadata for that subfolder to the CSV file. And this continues for every element in the array, right? And I just wanted to show one thing. So I'll just copy this creation time. So I'll explain why I need require this. Okay, and the code continues and it pushes all the CSV metadata to the CSV. I'll just run the full run and I'll just say continue. Yeah. So now you should have all the required details under the CSV file. So I'll first start with the file metadata. So these are the details. So we have the CSV file along with the path one.csv, and we'll cross check with the tenant, sorry, in the UI. And as you can see, so we have the one.csv under the root folder, that is the files folder, and then we have one.parquet under the folder underscore with secret key, which is this, and you should have one.parquet here. And then we have another file with folder underscore with secret key, and this file is under this folder underscore with secret key. And then we have a product.csv under the with secret key. Okay, product.csv. Yep. Now these are the so this basically fetch the data, the object hierarchies and the metadata details for the lakehouse. And then we have another lakehouse called temporary lakehouse underscore one, and then we check that. Yeah. So we have this files folder with this file under the folder, under the files folder. All right, and this is it. So we have the data metadata for this file as well under a different lake house. And as the third lake house has no files or directories, temporary lake house 2. So it has no matter the files metadata in it in this file. And we'll check the directory metadata. Okay, we randomly pick two or three folders. Let's pick this one. One lake. What's the location here? Folder with secret underscore two. So we have folder with secret. Sorry, we have this one, right? Folder with secret, and under folder with secret, we have folder with secret two. So we have folder with secret, and under folder with secret, we have folder with secret two, and under folder with secret two, we have a folder with secret two underscore one. And you have folder with secret two underscore one. Yeah, and then we have another folder under folder with secret 2 underscore 1, which is this. All right, in the next slide. And uh, and again in the temporary lake house, which is this lake house 1. So it has written the metadata for this folder, which is temporary lake house underscore 1 along with the path. And this is the creation time, this is the modified time, and this is the permission. Yeah, one thing I wanted to highlight here is that the creation time. So basically the creation time is in form of a, I'll show that quickly to you. Where should I put the, I think I should put the breakpoint here. So the creation time basically is in form of ticks, and somehow the ticks aren't getting converted into the proper date time format. So I'll show that how the creation time is written in the metadata response. Okay, and I should say you have to do a quick watch to the string. So your creation time is in form of a text, while the last modified date is like a proper date. Okay, and when I try to convert this creation time into a date time, the year part, right? The year part is somehow not getting converted in a proper format. So, so I did a quick online check. I mean, there's an online converter wherein it returns the uh, date time format of the text. So as you can see, it's returning 0424, which is the case with us as well. So we are checking for 1.csv, right? So I'll just open 1.csv. So it's saying 12.12.0424, and we are 12.12.0424, and we'll check the for another folder. So it's saying, so this is returning 12.29.0424, and saying which was that folder underscore with secret, which is this, right? 12290424. 12290424. So somehow there is some issue with the text that's written from the metadata response. So I'm not sure how to handle this because the ticks itself are incorrect. The values of the tick itself are incorrect. It's like some weird year part. All right, so that's all. So I hope I was able to give much clarity on the code through this walkthrough. And if you do have any questions or comments, do let me know, and I'll be very happy to answer them. All right, thank you very much.